Stop
Put a
sitting,
lot of money
stop
in that
sitting
account.
there, Mike, and acting
lot
like
of
you
money
did
in that
everything
account.
by yourself, okay? I put tons of money in that account, and it kept you nice and comfortable while you were sitting in
You
prison.
put tons of money in that account from the that I told you to do.
Oh, please, Mike.
So that's me times
Oh, please. Oh, please. I put money in that account because I was working 16-hour shifts. But you don't have me working for anybody anymore.
That's my point. I made you a boss.
No, you didn't.
That's what I did.
You made me a maid here at home, and all you do is on me. That's what you do.
Okay.
Welcome back to another review of Life After Lockup. My name is LaShawn J, and if you're new to my channel, I give lighthearted commentary on Life After Lockup. I just want to give a special shout out to my subscribers, new and old. Thank you. Today we're going to be doing a review of Life After Lockup Season 4, Episode 46, The Ring is Off. So the first couple I want to talk about today is Justine and Michael. So we see Justine, she's upstairs, she's paying the bills, and she comes up to an expense that she doesn't know anything about. And she calls Michael, in, and she's like, what you was doing? And he was like, I was playing with the kids. And she proceeds to ask him about $12,000 missing from their joint account. And Michael proceeds to say, well, I invested in some cryptocurrency and some stock. I saw an opportunity that I couldn't miss, and I did some investments. And he's only saying this. He proceeds to lie to her. He's only saying this because he could not replace the money that he took. He said, because I couldn't replace the money I took, I decided to make up something off the top of my head. So Justine is mad, as she should be. And she's like, well, if you did take money out the account, you should have told me about it, because now I'm paying the bills and I'm seeing that we're missing funds. Like, why did you not explain to me that you was going to take some money out the account? And he was like, I don't see a problem with it. You don't explain to me every dime that you use, every time you use money out the account. And she's like, yes, I basically do. So he gets mad and he says to her, well, you know what? Get your own account. And she was like, this is my account. I put you on my account when you got out of jail. This is my account. And he was like, well, yeah, but I gave you money to put in this account. And I also made you a boss. And she says, no, you did not put money in this account. I'm the one who works 16 hours a week to keep you afloat in prison and to put money into that account. And this is why, and you made me a boss of what? Being in the house? And this is why I did not want to leave my job, because I knew there would be an issue when it pertains to money. And they start arguing back and forth. So then Justine is like, should I be packing? Because I do not want to go on a trip and the two of us is acting this way. So he proceeds to say, oh, well, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. We're arguing about something so petty. People don't even have money in an account to argue about. They don't have a trip to go to. They don't have kids. When he was the one who was wrong. All he had to do was say, tell her he was taking money out of the account, or replace the money that he took in the first place. He shouldn't have took that money out of the account in the first place to buy a ring. Y'all about to be on your 8th kid. Why a ring is so important? She's happily married to you without the ring. She's fine. She don't care about the ring or the big wedding. She's fine right now. You're just spending unnecessary money. And it seems like that's what he was used to. So they got over it. They go to the trip. They get to the hotel. They change. They go see Michael's manager, Mocha. So I guess Justine and Mocha has previous problems and issues before, because she proceeds to say, you know what, I'm going to be on my best behavior. I'm just going to listen. I'm not going to say anything. And when they get to the studio, Mocha proceeds to hug Michael. He welcomes him. He totally ignores Justine. He didn't even say hi. I don't even think he really even looked her way to make sure that was Justine Michael was with. So they proceed to walk in, and he introduced Michael to his secretary, and Justine introduced herself because Mocha wasn't going to do it. And she said, hi, my name is Justine. And hi, how you doing, Mocha? It's nice to see you again. And he just gave a hi. And Michael turns around and was like, calm down, because I guess Michael knows the two of them has history and they don't get along. So they go inside the studio and they sitting down, and he's talking to Michael, and he's just letting Michael know, look, you know what? I did this. I built it from the ground up. Told you I was going to do it, and I did it. So he's talking to Michael, and Michael says, you know what? Yeah, this is what I'm looking forward to. I've been dreaming about this since I was in prison. I can't wait to get back into the music industry, especially now that I'm expecting. And Mocha looks and he's like,
No! No!
what? So Justine sits back and she starts rubbing on her stomach. And Mocha is still like in disbelief. And he says, let me talk to you outside for a minute. So he pulls Michael aside and he's like, Michael, what are you doing? Like, I already know you was moving fast by getting married to her, but now you're having a baby. Who signs an artist to a major record label who have a wife and kids? Nobody signs anybody to a major record label who has a wife and kids. And Mocha explains that a 18-year-old with no wife, with no kids, with no job, with no responsibilities will be in the studio sun up to sundown until they get these records out, until they do what the record label want them to do. You have a wife. You have kids. You have a baby on the way. I'm supposed to be the one putting the nanny on the expense account? Like, when your baby's sick and your wife is calling and your wife thinks you should be home when you shouldn't be in the studio. Like, this is problems that we don't need. I've waited years for you to get out of jail for us to pick up where we left off. And you just making the situation worse and worse as it go along. So he kind of talks some sense into Michael as far as his manager position and letting Michael know, look, this is not going to work. So Michael proceeds to say, you know what? Regardless of what I do, somebody's going to be the bad guy. I'm going to be the bad guy anyway. So I'm going to take off the ring. So, they hug, they hug it out and he's happy now. He's like, yeah, I'm finally getting him to see what I'm trying to say. They walk back into the room with Justine and he proceeds to tell him, look, I booked you a show. Please don't embarrass me. Please make it there on time and just don't embarrass me. And he also tells them, hey, the social media accounts, you need to take the family pics down. No family pics. We need you looking like a single man and we need to get the ball rolling on this. So he was like, yeah, I'm not going to embarrass you. And, agreeing to taking all the pictures down and leaving Justine at home where she's supposed to be. Because I don't understand why Justine needs to be with Michael for every trip, every step in matching outfits everywhere. It's ridiculous. You have kids. You should be home with your kids. Michael is going to chase his career and you're chasing him. Like, what? So hopefully, when Justine heard the pictures down, though, Justine was pissed. So hopefully, moving on in the future, Michael knows to leave Justine at home because you're going to handle business. What is she there to do? She's gonna be coming to terms soon. She's already looking like she's 4 or 5 months. So hopefully they get it together because Michael want to be a rapper and he want to have Justine on his side and a baby in her stomach. And he just want all of these things to come together. They're not mashing. They're not mashing. So the next couple I want to talk about is Chance and Taylor. So we see Taylor. She's still in the hospital and she's getting ready to push. She has the baby. Beautiful baby boy. I think he was 8 pounds. Healthy baby boy. So Chance is so eager to hold him. Chance is like, let me hold him. You had him for 9 months. It's my turn. I want to hold him now. So Taylor lets him hold the baby. He's bonding. And fast forward 5 weeks later, we see Taylor's at home. She's trying to feed the baby, take care of the kids that she already has. And Chance is repeatedly calling her in the back. For what? I don't know. So Taylor's like, yeah, Chance, you have to give me a chance. I'm trying to get some stuff done. I have the baby. So she's holding the baby, trying to feed her. Chance is proceeding to walk out the door. He's getting in his car like he's going to work. And what did I say? I've been saying episode after episode after episode, Chance don't have no job. I've been telling y'all this from the get-go. Chance been using his credit cards to pay off their debts. And he would get more credit cards to pay off the credit cards that he used to pay off their debts. Chance ain't had no job. So he proceeds to tell us that his job laid him off.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop your fucking lying.
Chance, you was not working. You was not working anywhere. You've been just doing a Ponzi scheme of jobs and trying to get gigs here and there to bring some money home. That's it. This is why you spent all that money on that house washer. And you've been telling Taylor where the money's going. You work so much overtime, but you're still not bringing in the money you're supposed to be bringing in. You know why? Because you ain't been working. You've been using your credit cards to pay off your debts, your bills, and using other credit cards to pay off those credit cards. So he goes to a friend who does real estate, and he proceeds to ask his friend for a job. And his friend was like, well, right now I don't have any jobs available, and I might have something around 4 weeks from now. And Chance is like, he done scurry on out of there. He done told his friend, thank you, because he's so stressed out. He got to make his way to somebody's bar. So he proceeds to go to a bar when his friend told him in 4 weeks, maybe he might have something for him. And he's spending more money that he does not have and don't even know where he's going to get from. Because that's money, them shots could go to wipes, Pampers, milk, food for the other kids that's in the house. You know, a baby is so expensive. Plus, you have younger children in the household. Clothes, toiletries. Anyway, so he's at the bar and he asked the guy, hey, does those slots work? And the guy, which works there, or it's probably his bar, proceeds to tell him, yeah, people win on those slots all the time. I think somebody just won a good $300. So he goes to the slots and loses $75. You can't make this up. So Chance is spending money that him or Taylor just don't have. Meanwhile, Taylor's calling her sister Bobby because she's like, you know what? Me and Bobby really haven't spoken since she left the hospital, since she said she drove from wherever she came from to come here to see her son being born, to see her nephew being born, and then she leaves the hospital talking about she has anxiety.
Stop the cap.
And she still haven't came to see the baby. 5 weeks later, you still ain't see that baby yet? So Taylor calls her sister, Bobby, and she's just expressing to Bobby, you know what, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Chance is always gone. The bills are just piling up. I'm getting no help with the kids. Plus this newborn baby, you know, I'm stressed. So Bobby's like, oh, he probably getting on your nerves. So you know what, I'm going to come and I'm going to come see the kids. I still want to see the baby. I still ain't see the baby yet. 5 weeks. You drove all this way to see your sister have her baby, and 5 weeks has gone by, and you still have not seen the baby. She had to reach out to you? Anyways, that's crazy. But yeah, so Chance is out at the bar again, and Taylor is stressed out. So she's taking care of so many kids, and I just don't know why she wants to do that. So if you're not gonna ditch that extra weight, then good luck. So the next couple I want to talk about is Derek and Monique. So we see Derek, he's packing a bag, and he is about to go see his woman, Monique. And he's telling us he got his ankle bracelet removed, and him and Monique, they talked, they patched everything up, and now they decided to make things work. He's waiting for approval for him to get on a plane, and he's going to go see Monique, and he's going to propose. He calls Monique. He lets her know. He was like, hey, babe, what's up? And she was like, don't what's up me. Why was you not answering your phone? And he was like, I was asleep. Duh. So he gives her the good news. Hey, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm coming to see you. I got the approval that I needed. And she's all excited. She's happy. She can't wait for him to get there. So he goes to let Big Ma know that he's leaving, and he wants to propose to Monique. Big Ma sits him down and was like, well, you know what? Monique deserves better. So don't listen to your brothers. Don't listen to your sisters. They was not always there in your life, and they don't know what you're going through with your relationship. Take care of Monique, and if this is who you want to be with, and if you're really ready to settle down, be with her. Big Ma proceeds to give him advice, and she told him she packed him a lunch, and she gave him $500 for the trip. And I need me a Big Ma. I need somebody to provide a roof over my head, make me lunch before I go on a plane trip to another state, and give me $500 in spending money? Where is my Big Ma at? So Derek uncle comes pick him up to take him to the airport. And while they're driving to the airport, he was like, so when the last time you heard from your PO? And he's like, yesterday. So did you get the approval? Not yet. I'm waiting for it today. And his uncle was just like, so why wouldn't you give them a call? Why don't you just give them a call right now? Find out what's going on, because you're about to basically hop on a plane. You already told Monique you got the pass. You making Big Ma think you got a pass to go, but yet still you don't have the pass. You don't have the approval to leave yet. So what are you waiting on? So he decides to call his PO. He calls the PO and she's like, well, Derek, you're not going anywhere because you never sent me the plane ticket for your return trip back. And he was like, I emailed it to you. She's like, you emailed things to me too late. She hangs up the phone and then she calls him back and she was like, okay, I approved you to go on a trip, but make sure you answer that phone and you make sure you pick up every time. And if you get into any trouble, you're going back to the slammer. And he's like, nothing's going to happen. There's going to be no trouble. So he tell his uncle that, you know what, I plan on proposing to Monique when I get out there. And his uncle's like, you sure you're ready for that? And he's like, yeah, I'm ready. This is what I want to do. I love her. This is the one for me. I'm ready. So his uncle was like, I think it was somebody in the back. He was like, so what if she said no? And he was like, it's no saying no.
What?
It's no saying no. Not to me. Okay, Derek. So Derek proceeds to get on the plane and go to his love, Monique. Derek and Monique. So the next couple I want to talk about is Lindsay and Blaine. So Blaine wakes up off the couch because Lindsay kicked him out the room and he's knocking at the door. What is Lindsay doing? She's packing. Because Blaine did not tell you he took a deal so he could not go to prison. Usually people be packing for the hills when the man is going to prison. But in Lindsay's case, she rather pack when he's not going to prison. Lindsay is too dramatic, okay? She is doing a bit too much. Lindsay, he did what was best for him at the time. No, he didn't express it to you, but this is the person you ended up being in a relationship with. You know he doesn't express things to you. You'll have to build on that form of communication. You have to give it time. It does not happen overnight. So what you're going to do is go tit for tat for him. And she packs a bag and she proceeds to walk out the door. Blaine is trying to stop her. He's like, where you going? This is just, you doing too much. You doing too much, basically. And she was like, I'm not telling you where I'm going. It's none of your business because you don't tell me what's going on with you. And he was like, okay, well, he walked out the door and he was like, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, because she is too dramatic and I'm not about to go back to jail for her. I took a deal to stay out of jail. You think I'm about to chase after you? This is what you want, somebody chasing after you? Blaine went right back in the house. He was like, go on. So we see Blaine's father, and his father is talking to him. He came to pick him up, and he's like, where's Lindsay? And he's like, I haven't seen Lindsay in like 2 days. And his father was like, what? He was like, she's mad about me not letting her know about me taking probation. And he was like, yeah, I told you she would be mad about something like that, but for her to be acting this way, are you sure she's the one you want to get married to? Because I'm kind of starting to reconsider. Blaine needs to too, because Lindsay's acting like a little girl right now. So he was telling his father, well, I hope not. I'm hoping that I don't have to reconsider on this because, you know, that's the person I want to be with. So they get ready to go to church because Blaine is supposed to be saying a sermon at church today. They get in front of the church. They meet up with Lindsay's daughter and Lindsay's mom. And Blaine is like, so where's Lindsay? I'm figuring she's with you. She's not home. And Lindsay's mother or daughter don't know nothing about it. They just like, no, she's not with us. She's not with us. We don't know where she's at. So Blaine proceeds. He goes to church. He starts talking about how he ended up getting into drugs, how he ended up selling drugs and using it. And he talked about his grandmother was being his rock. And now that she's gone, he wished she could have saw him at this stage that he's not using drugs anymore because she wanted the best for him. Lindsay proceeds to walk in. And he also mentioned Lindsay, and he says that, you know what, he has the support of his girlfriend's daughter, and the rest of his family that's there to keep him sober and to assist with his sobriety. So she gets teary-eyed, and she's just realizing how much of a good dude Blaine is. Yeah, he's a little slow. He don't have it all there. He haven't been in a relationship in a long time, but What are you doing, Lindsay? You're acting very childish right now. So the service is over and they're in front of the church and they're talking about how they're going to go get something to eat. Lindsay pulls Blaine aside and she explains to him that she apologized for her actions. And she's just realizing, you know what, he did do a good thing by taking a deal. But he needs to communicate with her about what's going on because she does not like not knowing things. And Blaine also lets her know, hey, you just walked out on me, and you know that I don't like people walking out on me. So hopefully they could get it together. Blaine smartens up a little bit. Lindsay, stop acting like a child, Hopefully they get it together because they're another lost cause. So the next couple I want to talk about is Aries and Cameron. So we see Cameron, he wakes up off the couch. It's like everybody was sleeping on the couch this episode. Everybody got kicked out. So Cameron gets up off the couch and he picks up the little frame that he smashed the night before, and he goes and throws it in the garbage. He sits down on the porch and he calls his sister, and he lets his sister know, hey, me and Aries just got into it last night because I went to the studio and she's on my back about getting a job, and how that he feels like he just got to Florida and he needs a little bit more time. So his sister explained to him like, hey, you know what? The studio is your job because that's your dream. That's your motivation. That's what you're looking forward to, right? But Aries needs you to get a regular job. All right. When you signed up and you signed that marriage certificate and you signed up to be stepdaddy, you signed up to a lot of responsibilities. We are not kids anymore. You need to step up to the plate, get a job, take care of that girl, and do right by her. And she was like, me as a woman, I'm telling you this as a woman perspective. So she kind of talked some sense into him, and he decided to, you know what? I'm going to apologize for what I did. So he went in the house. He made Aries some tea. We see Aries come down the stairs. She's talking to him, good morning. And I feel like if they could communicate the way they did in that episode, they would be perfectly fine. There would be nothing wrong with the two of them. But when Aries can't get a hold of Cameron, she loses it. And I just don't understand why, because sometimes something could have happened to somebody. But 90% of the times, Cameron is fine. He's fine. He knows what he's doing. Stop treating him like a little kid. You're not his parole officer, okay? He's not in prison no more. He's just starting to get his freedom. So she comes down and he's like, you know what? I made you some tea and I do want to apologize. But I feel like I did nothing wrong. And she was like, so if you feel like you did nothing wrong, what are you apologizing for? And he was like, you know what? I'm apologizing because you waited for me for 2 years to get out of prison for us to build this life together. And I'm kind of not holding my end of the bargain because I did tell you I was going to go out and get a job. But instead of getting a job, I decided to go to the studio. But what I'm going to do is get a job and fulfill these things that I promised to you. And she was thankful for that. She's like, you finally understand, I don't ever want to take away from your dream and your music because you love your music. I don't ever want to take away from that because I fully support you within your music. But I need some help around here. We have a new house. We're in a new location. And I need some help. We got this AC. Living in Florida without an AC, I can imagine. So she was just like, I need some help around here. And I just want to apologize for the way I screamed at you, which was great that she apologized for that. The way I screamed at you and treated you last night. And you know what? They reconciled. He even played her his new song, which she loved because she's a Cameron fan, 100%. And he agreed to keep his location on and answer his phone. And you know what? That's how you do it. This is how you apologize. You put it behind you and you move forward because you cannot ever go forward when you keep looking back. There's no moving forward when you keep looking back. So the next couple I want to talk about is Marcelino and Brittany. I was a little annoyed with Marcelino and Brittany this episode because I didn't know that we was going to pick up where we left off last episode and we was going to stay there for a good 10 to 20 minutes. It felt like it could have been shorter, but it literally felt like we was on Brittany and Marcelino with the same argument that we saw last episode again this episode. So we pick up where we left off. Brittany is in the parking lot and she's telling Marcelino she's not going to get in the car with him. She's pissed and she's mad. Marcelino is trying to get her in the car and get her to let's go home because you're clearly drunk. And she just keeps repeating the same thing. Marcelino, I want your attention. Marcelino, I need your time. Marcelino, I need you to be affectionate towards me. He says, I'm trying. Now, Marcelino is somebody that does not seem affectionate to me. He always has a straight face. He never changes his emotion. It just seems like he has the same emotion every time. He's mad, he looks the same. He's sad, he looks the same. He's happy, he looks the same to me. I don't ever see his emotion changes. I don't see him smile. I don't see him cry. I don't see him scream. He says he doesn't like yelling and arguing because his mom and stepfather used to yell and argue a lot, and he does not like doing that. And that's understandable if something used to happen in the past and it traumatizes you, and now you refuse to, react that way. But he has no emotion, like none. His face is always like just I don't know, serial killer mode. That's what I get. I'm sorry. You let me know in the comments if I'm exaggerating, or does he seem like somebody who shows emotion? So Marcelino is just reassuring her. He was drinking too, so I still don't understand how can he have no emotion. So Marcelino is reassuring her, look, I'm trying. I don't know how many times I could say I'm trying to you, Brittany, because I'm really trying here. What else can I do? I'm providing. I'm taking care of the kids. I moved here. I did not want to be here. He cannot express enough that he does not want to be here. But I moved here for you. So that is a form of showing you some kind of love. Because if I didn't love you, I wouldn't have done these things for you. But she's like, but when I was in prison, you used to do this, and you used to do that, and you used to do this, and I want you to be the same man I was when I was Brittany. People don't stay the same. They adjust. People don't stay. It's not going to be the same when y'all was in your honeymoon phase where y'all just met. Y'all got kids now. Y'all got responsibilities. He doesn't have time to romance you all the time. Okay? So, just let him do what he can. So, she asked him to be her Superman. He decided, yes, I'll try to be your Superman, but you got to be the same for me. They reconcile. They go home to make up. Thank goodness. Let's hope this is the last of this argument, because this whole argument has been dragging on now from last episode to this episode to last season, I think it was, when the cheating allegations and everything started. So let's hope they can move on from this and try to readjust and be a happy family. Anyways, the next couple I want to talk about is Amber and Puppy. So we see Amber, she's driving to go meet a friend of hers. His name is Ruben. And Ruben just recently purchased a bar. And Ruben basically wants Amber to be partners with him in the bar. And Amber's like, well, this sounds like a good opportunity. You know what? This is a good opportunity. I need to hop on this. So he tells her he needs at least $50K. And she was like, that's a lot of money. And he's like, well, you a hustler. You'll figure it out. So I'm like, how? What? So Amber says, yeah, she's going to want to be business partners with him. And he's just like, well, I hope that it doesn't interfere with you and TC and the kids, because, you help out with the kids and he needs you at home. And she was like, yeah, but he needs to understand, you know what, I need something to do. She's basically tired of doing nothing. And that's about all we see about Amber. Puppy, we see her, she's moving into her friend Queen's house. And they're basically going to be roommates. They're going to be splitting the bills. And Puppy asks Queen to help her pack and unpack the stuff into the house. And Queen was like, is this a picture of you and Eric? No, this is not staying here. This is not staying here. So Puppy proceeds to tell Queen, it took me so long to leave Eric because, I really loved him and I really wanted the relationship to work. I thought we would be able to work it out because you know what? When it's good, it's really good. But when it's bad, it's also bad. So Puppy is just like, I really wanted this relationship to work. And, she gets emotional and Queen is just telling her, you know what? It's fine. He does not deserve your tears because the things that he was doing and saying to you is things that a married man says to a woman. You should have left this relationship a long time ago. I'm happy that she has her friend Puppy because her friend Queen, because when she says she's trying to get away from Eric and she knows that he's not going to be able to come to that location. And Queen says, yeah, while she's here, I can keep her here and I can keep her away from Eric at this house. But when she leaves this house, I have no control over that. And I'm happy that she's helping her. Like, she has somebody there to help her and get over this, because Amber has her own life and she's past this. So hopefully Puppy stay away from Eric and try to mend her broken heart. It's hard, but you're gonna get over it, girl. And that's about it. That's all we saw for this episode. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy my videos and would like to be notified every time I upload a new video.